Hello scale modelers from YouTube, and welcome to my channel. If you are following this project, this was the state in which the NUMMI Kappa hot rod was left in the previous video. In this final episode we'll see the implementation of the interior of the car, as well as the last details for the exterior of the body. So, let's see these updates to the building process, as well as the completion of the project. For the interior, I picked up from my parts box these elements. A set of seats with a center console, a dashboard, a gear lever, and a steering wheel. Additionally, I used a plastic toothpick to increase the steering column. The back side of the seats and the console were painted with the same color of the car body, metallic red. On the console I painted chrome the trims, with a Molotow chrome pen, and installed there the gear lever, where I painted flat black the lower part. The front of the seats I painted with light sand, TS46, from Tamiya, and then, to give them a look of used leather, they were washed with a rust effect, from Vallejo Model Wash, reference number 76.506. I covered the interior floor with red flocking, to give this area a carpet look, and I installed the red seat belts with the buckles, and the seatbelt locks using aftermarket products from a company called Scale Production. As this car has an automatic transmission, I scratch-built the two pedals, the accelerator, and the foot brake. The dashboard was painted metallic red, with the rivets and the gauges silver, and then I used the panel line accent color black to highlight the details. I made the door panels with some plastic card, then they were painted with light sand, and washed with a rust effect, with the door handles in chrome. The steering wheel was also painted with light sand, then, dry brushed hull red, and washed with a rust effect, to give it a wood look. The spokes and the extension of the steering column were painted with silver. After this, I installed the front and rear windows. One last detail I added under the chassis, that was the steering column with the steering box. This element could only be installed after having the body parts completely glued, to have the correct measurements, since it is connected to the front axle and to the firewall. So, the building process is completed, and I glued the body to the chassis. But after everything was glued, I noticed that I forgot to install a handbrake in the center console. I thought about not installing it, but then I decided to scratch build one, and install it through the side windows. Each of the final details for the exterior of the body, we will see them with the reveal of the finished project. But first, let's recap. This idea started when I finished the 1932 Ford Phaeton, and I had the fenders the spare parts, because I built it fenderless. In my spare parts, I had also a top, which belonged to the 1936 Ford Roadster, and a grille, as well as a hood, from a 1939 Ford Coupe. I had also the wheels that I decided to use in this project, and with these basic items and with others that I also collected from the parts box, I started this build. After the first phase of the building process, I made a mock-up with all these elements together, which already gave us an idea of how the NUMMI Kappa hot rod would look like. Then, a second phase came, where I decided to use the metallic red as body color, and additionally, some more details were implemented, such as the engine, the radiator, the firewall, and several elements under the chassis, like front disc brakes, and suspensions. By the end of the second phase I made a new mock-up video with all the body parts painted, but obviously not yet glued. The chassis was finished, with all the elements, and with the engine and wheels mounted. And finally, with the implementations in this last phase, it is time now to reveal the finished project and show the final details, for the exterior of the body. So, here she is, the finished NUMMI Kappa hot rod. In addition to painting with metallic red, I add some pinstripes decals, one on the front of the hood, one on each of the doors, and on the back side of the car. The trim around the front window and the windshield wiper were painted with a Molotow chrome pen, and I painted black the top of the roof, and with rubber black the running boards on each side of the car. To complete the body, I added the door handles, the headlights and the taillights, the horn painted gold on the front, and the chrome gas cap on the rear, as well as the side mirror, the front and rear bumpers, and the license plates. For the spare wheel at the rear of the car, I scratch-built the support, and after painted it body color, I put a decal that came with the 1965 Chevy Impala Lowrider from Revell, and that was in my decals box. In the front grille and inside the rims I used panel line accent color black, to give them a more realistic look. For a build made with parts from different kits, and some others scratch built by me, I'm really pleased how it looks, and I hope it's enjoyable for you too. Perhaps it helped that the main parts of the body are from the same brand of car, the Ford, and from cars of the same decade, the 30s. I think they all fit together quite nicely. The V8 engine is also a nice addition to this hot rod, and the adaptations to install it inside the engine bay were very simple. Finally, I think that the interior with all the details that we already saw, complete the package. It's not perfect, but as you can imagine I had a lot of fun building it, and I'm very proud of the result. Thank you for watching and thank you to all my subscribers. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below with any question or feedback. See you in the next video.